Okay, so this is the third video I have made. I've messed up two, so oh well, we will not get that hour back. But I guess the good thing is maybe I will do a little bit better video on this. So welcome Psychology 315 students, and I'm going to go through and hopefully help you with your papers as far as research goes. So again, just kind of reviewing the paper. I do want these to be ages 12 and below, unless you are a teaching, plan on teaching high school or something like that. Just, again, let me know and I'll approve it. And then also, too, just some other things while I'm thinking about it, make sure we're going to use peer-reviewed articles instead of things that are just on Google. And I want you to do that because it's going to help you. It'll help you as far as the content of your information isn't really going to change if you're using true scientific articles rather as opposed to something that is just kind of sold and written somewhat quickly without the scientific background. So as far as the paper, again, you want to think about maybe physical development, cognitive development, social emotional development. Again, maybe using theories or concepts that are used, and maybe something for best practices. And then I want these papers, they're due on April the 4th. I believe I've got it set up 2 weeks before. I want a outline. Of course, there'll be extra credit points for that. And then there will be some more extra credit points for the final draft, rough draft you turn into me. I think that's a week before. So I think that'd be March the 28th. And then also, I'm going to give you 2 points if you go to the Writing Center. If you say that you're seeing me, I should get an email on that. I need to make sure of that, but make sure that happens so I can give you credit. I will kind of require that email as far as to give you credit for going to the Writing Center. The 2 points there. And again, hopefully you would go by there anyway. And of course, the extra credit's set up on things that I hope will help you earn. It's kind of, hopefully it'll be kind of a double win. You'll get extra credit and you'll make a higher grade on your paper. Again, you can see, so April the 4th, and by 11:59 p.m., which anything after 12 o'clock, I've turned in several things online at 11:59 and 57 seconds, and I went from I got an A or a B plus instead of a 0. I do not recommend doing that. I still get a little worried when I wrote that. And then here's my all right, so there's where we are. Paper. So now coming up with a topic. As I was reading Chapter 5, I kind of found this interesting as far as correcting students in the classroom with regards to their dialect. Again, this would kind of be a tough one to find, but again, I should have taken a picture of the next page, but this is on page 321, and then 323 probably has a little bit more what I'm looking for. But again, I've got several, again, just to get an ideas for articles. I can take this, and then I'm noticing here I see this Delpit 1988 because it's talking about some sentences here. The teacher can encourage competency in the standard dialect by making it clear to children that acquiring new dialect is important by instructing them with its conventions. So it goes on more and more, but the point is, as far as with research regards, see it says Delpit 88, and then I go to the back of the book where they've got their citations, and you can see where we're in good shape because this is a journal. See, it's italicized here. Yes, a Harvard Business Review. So we're in good shape there. The Silence Dialogue, and then there's her other article as well that was on the page. That's on page 323 right there. So then I see that, and then I want to go to what I've got here is I went ahead and opened up, this is Firefox rather than using Safari. I did find out something that with my Mac, I can go like this, and you can see how this thing goes down. I know the computer on my class on Saturday, my fellow students said you can hit like F10, and all of a sudden that bar will show up as far as like say you need to edit, like to copy or find or whatever. A lot of times you can use shortcut keys. But so anyway, so now we're at Encore. This is the library's website. So again, with the, so say, but actually let's do it the right. Let's go in a different way. So for me, I would go ahead and use Google Scholar first. So we go to say Google Scholar, scholar.google.com, right? And then of course you want to, I didn't sign in here, but you want to sign in, make sure you got the FMU library. I'll switch over to my Safari to show you as far as the way that works. But anyway, so I would go through and then maybe I would type in Delpit 1988 and then boom, there it is. Is this a good article? Yes, I've got 3,602 articles. So then by doing that, by clicking that, look what we have here. Now, I wouldn't really go for books, but again, you can see where, again, see review, research, and education. This JustSource is good. And then we've got the PDF, so I can just click on the PDF. And then I'm able to see, here's a 48-page PDF that just popped up for us. Again, actually, I guess this looks more, you're in good shape here. I was going to say it looks kind of like a book the way is down with the page number there, but you can see it's using the APA right there. But again, I think you know that already, nothing new. So again, with her, we go back to this. So that kind of goes, we can hit the citation and get the articles that use her article. So obviously it's going to be something similar. And again, we're looking for, we're just going to kind of follow the research. So I look at this, like other people's children, class, the black issue, tired of those. I'm looking at that there, so then maybe I look at this. Just again, trying to keep it open as far as like how to, again, how to correct. So I guess this is the same article here. Again, yeah, you can see where it's from the Harvard Education Review. So again, this article here is the same thing as this one above. Now, just something too, when you're using articles from like 1988 and older, sometimes they're not as easy to cut and paste, and they're a little bit tougher to work with. Obviously, you're not going to cut and paste your whole paper, but sometimes it's easier for, again, it's saying it may not display correctly. So you kind of see where, yes, that is pretty much the same article that was just up. If I go to, see, it's kind of broken up there. So it just gets tough to, what happens is it thinks every time, if it's like this, it thinks it's enter every time. It's like a hard enter. And what that means is if I cut and paste this, this will be, I don't know, 10 lines, 20 lines, I don't know, maybe like 70 lines there. So that's something to be aware of. Now, with this one here, as far as when you're trying to figure out your research, so you see an article, you can read this right there as far as the intro or the abstract, and then just go to the bottom, and then depending on the paper, you see where it's got the references, and then I may look for a conclusion or towards the bottom of it. And then, again, a lot of times there's going to be a conclusion, and then by the time you read, so this may not be in a good article because I think this is actually, it looks almost like it's a speech. I think I read somewhere where this was actually a speech, but again, just stuff you got to be careful with. But okay, so that's not good. It's a speech. However, well, it is, but then I also too, I've got these articles that are at the bottom. So these aren't all speeches, and then I can look through and see this. The other thing is too, if you use an article from 1988, You can kind of see where they're using information from 1975, and then that gets tougher and tougher to find. But so then that kind of gives me an idea there, and then I would say correction of dialect, and then again I may not even put of, it could confuse it. So then I could hit search, and then I see 21,000 results. So some things I can do too is I can go here and put, so what I did, and you'll notice, let me go back and do that again. See this thing right here, advanced search. I hit that. Now I can, instead of anywhere in the article, I can put anywhere in the title of the article. So now when I search, I come up with nothing. Okay, thank you. So correction, maybe I could do like correction, correction dialect that way, and then I can go here again and change it to title, and maybe we'll get something here. Okay, I didn't get anywhere as well. Sometimes, like if you do this entire web, you just want to be careful. We didn't get anything. Sometimes you'll get an article and it'll go to Google, just a regular Google, and then again, it's not going to be, a lot of times it's not going to be peer reviewed. But if it's got information you need, if you'll let me know what that is, I can kind of look through it real quick to make sure it looks like it's going to be something that's going to be acceptable. So then so instead of dialect, maybe we can say correction language. Of course too, I can just keep it like that with my 21,000 results. Something I can do, I can change the range. So say I want to go from say 2005. If I don't put anything, I don't have to go to 2016. I can just hit that and it knows to go all the way up. And then you can kind of see the way it ranks. You see where this is, again, by 6,951 sightings. Again, problem is it's a book, so sometimes we can get in trouble with the book. You want to be careful of that. Now this one again is a book, and then again, but this is our lady. See this Del Pitt? So it looks like she's kind of an expert in this area. And then and then here's where you just go through again. It would, you really want to spend a good hour and just see what we see about correcting students. Keeping creoles and dialects, is it justified? Maybe, again, you got 15,000, like best way to correct dialect. Again, you don't really need to put in the, but you should be in good shape there. And of course too, I won't get anything in the title, right? So yep, that didn't work. So just going back here. So now we look at, again, 16,500 really didn't cut it down for us. But again, you can kind of read a little bit here as far as best way to get insight into language learning is to observe children using language. English. Story of grammar in the United States. So again, to correct students. Another thing you can do too is I can go, if again, I want to see something, with correct student. Like let's do this correcting students. So what I can do here is I'll put these two words together and I put quotations there. Those have to be in that certain order. So now if I search it, you see I went down to 274 right there. So language policy, beliefs, apply linguistics. Then I can look over here. Now this one, it's not in the library, but again right here I've got the abstract, right? So now this is talking about English country. Okay, that's about Singapore. It's probably not what I'm looking for. Error correction. Students versus teachers' perceptions. Now this looks good. I've got the PDF right here. PDF showing up, 16 pages. It's not 100. That's good. Of course, now, again, it's in Spain. No problem there as far as what they're saying as far as the... Actually, probably want to be careful. I think about it. It's, again, if you're talking about in Spain, you just want to make sure that what happens in Spain happens in the States. Again, because it's a again, anything from Google Scholar is going to pretty much be a peer-reviewed article. So the research is probably pretty good that they did, and the article is written correctly. But you want to, and then also, here I am. I got so excited I saw error correction. Completely forgot I was saying. I wish I were in class where you could have told me. There's tabula rasa. I think we had that on. We had that. I think that was John Locke from an exam question right there. Look, we're learning stuff here. Fired up, aren't you? So there's some things too you can do. Is if I take this word right there, see how it's going together. So then I can go like this. I can right click it, and this doesn't do as good as anyway. I guess it's better than nothing. So I can go search the. I can go like that, and then I can see blank slate right there. I can look it up if I need to, and then of course it gives me a new window, so I can't go back, but then I can get rid of this there, and I go back to where I was, and then it's highlighted, so that helps me know where I was. Sometimes with I guess it's nice with Safari, you can just hit that and it'll have a lookup and it'll show you a brief description of the word. But you're seeing here again, this is from 2005, so it's a little bit easier to work with this. So if I needed to copy this, I can go to, this is the APA paper outline. This is at the bottom, so just showing you how that kind of shows up together. Sometimes you can do that. I would do something where you're doing like bold, italics, just to make sure you know, maybe even in red, making sure you know that you have got to change these sentences completely around. But as you're doing research, sometimes you just want to kind of get your ideas together. And again, I'm also looking at the point where, again, and I think maybe this is the reason they're forcing you to pay the 5 cents per page, is students would see this and then they would print out 16 pages. So 16 pages is 80 cents. So now you kind of think about it a little bit before you just print it. But what you can do is you can go through and take the places, sections, and then you can paste those into a Word document. So then you maybe you print out 5 pages out of 100 pages you kind of sift through. And then also, heck, I guess you can, instead of printing them out, I guess from the library, you could just email it to yourself or wherever you are to print out later. But okay, so here's one of the papers. So we can look through here. We see the introduction. Again, these can give you some ideas of introduction, whatever you're looking for. As far as like this error analysis, I could look at this. And then perceptions of error correction. So then I could read through this. And this would probably be pretty interesting, because I've always noticed it seems like people from other countries tend to correct if you're trying to learn a language. Like when I was, again, always continuously learning Spanish, they would easily, like, boom, completely correct me. But I don't know what it is. And I've gotten to where now I correct people where English is a second language. I'll go ahead and correct them to help them out, and kind of joke about how we just don't correct you in America for some reason. And so what happens is so a lot of the reason that we complain about people's English from other countries is they're not getting corrected, as opposed to if you're in another country, it seems like people from other countries are more apt to correct you. Of course, this is probably a article about that with fact-based rather than just Kevin's anecdotal evidence, which means absolutely nothing. So you're probably sick of hearing from me, but again, here's just an article. You see this like blah errors. What does all this mean? Da 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 da. I'm sure we could all figure it out. However, if we can go to the So then we're at references, and then we're at the end. So then we want to get to, so okay, so here's the implication. So then we could read through this, see if it's some good stuff, and we could use it from that. Okay. Now, and then of course too, the big thing is we can look at his articles too. So we can kind of look. Of course, some of these are a little bit tough to read since my Spanish isn't so hot. I think sobre is under, but anyway, we can look through to see if we see a better article. Again, a lot of this is finding the right article, and again, once you find the right article, as short as this paper is, you're probably going to be in good shape. Just again, you just got to be real careful as far as with a paper as short as this, and you see an article about the subject you want to write, be careful not to take that person's opinion. So as I've got best way here, you don't want to just basically copy this person's ideas. It needs to be something that you're gaining from the different articles that you've been reading and the things you're finding. Okay. How to, again, just another one there I could look at. Again, nice thing is it's a PDF, so then I can just open it right up. And then if you're at home, you can go ahead and print them out. Another thing you can do too when you print is a lot of times you can go print, and then I'm not sure how yours is set up, but then you'll see a lot of times we go to layout, and then I can make 2 pages per sheet, right? And then I can do two-sided, so then, the point is I'm getting 4. So say I do two-sided, short, do it that way. So then it's not really giving me a, and then I can actually do a PD, I can save it as a PDF, or I can email it, things like that. And as far as when I do your PowerPoints, I go to the 16, and that's where I get the 16 from. And then I make sure that it's like that, where it's across like that as far as your, okay, gosh, I hope I've helped. Let's see here. So now, so say we're using, so here's kind of an example where when you're using, so this, I'm logged into the library here on my FMU ID, and so let's see, we're doing correction of speech in classroom. Seeing where that takes us. And then we're looking at the multimodal era, correction of, again, like we talked about dialect earlier, maybe we'll find something different, dialect. And then there's again the Delpit article. So you can see how many things we see. A lot of times you go like e-resources, and I get nothing. I can't, my username and password will not work there. And then also, so what happens is when you see something like this, you would go, I think the easiest way is to go where it says language diversity and classroom discourse. And then what will happen is this will go there. Then you want to, I'd copy that and then go to your, say we go to the library. It's Rogers. Oh, Francis. fmary.edu, and then sometimes the easiest way is to go to the where it has the page here, and you can hit library, and then you can go to this quick search. Remember, so we're pasting that, and then we go to find it, and then language diversity. So we got 3 of those, and then gosh. So then maybe it didn't find it there. It's not always perfect. So then maybe this was it. So then from that point, we can go there. Then you got this ebooks are available on the internet. Again, I'm looking for more articles than the ebook here. So then maybe, again, you see here, now it says articles. So symbolic. So say it's something like this, and you can hit the PDF. And then of course, see now I'm on this one. I'm in, and that's invalid. So I need to look that up again. I can put that in. I haven't done it. So that shows you, like I said, I guess I hadn't had to write a paper in a while. But, again, when I was, I definitely used a lot of these, the things I couldn't get off of Google Scholar, I could get from here. So again, you figure out what your article is, just type that in. It's going to be broad. You want to kind of get it down, and then you just kind of go through and just look at articles. Like say you look at this one, and then you can look at, this may show you, so again, see it gives a little bit about this to see if you want to follow through with it. Again, looking at the abstracts and the conclusion to give you an idea if you want to use the article. So again, if you have any questions, we can ask in class. I've given you my phone number as far as you can call me to, again, I just think sometimes it'll help me to write you an email with the information. I mean, it'll help me to call you, be easier than writing an email. It'll be faster and I can make sure that you know that you have the information you need, and you can get that faster as well. So anyway, I hope this helps, and I hope you feel good about grammar.